Hello. Let's get started. So last time we did a bunch of stuff about systems making some interfaces that we can use to do inter-item combinations and messaging. We got that working pretty easily since once I got out of my death spiral of system architecture, it was just a couple of interfaces I had to implement. And then I said, next time I'm going to do this. But no, I'm still going to do this. Don't worry about it. Just give me a second. But I realized if we change the reticle when we change the action, that means we'll have to have both reticles and actions. So we're going to kind of like expand this out. So I made a different thing here and I moved the UI here. So we've got different main actions as a thing we need to do. I put the same as weapons, kind of not really, since weapons tend to just be done in a particular way, and I'll show you that in a second. Kind of not really. Then we can do action selection wheel UI. So what we'll do is we'll program a way for essentially just saying, okay, we're going to move the mouse wheel and that's going to change what action there is. And then finally, actually, I don't need the UI for that one. And then we'll do the reticle, which is the UI for actions, knowing what action you're on. So the other thing I want to note in here, I don't know what I'm doing for notes. Orange? Nose. Orange you grad? Okay. What actions are available depend on what's in the hand. So if there's nothing in your hand, the only thing you can do is grab and then if there is something in your hand, then you select. So there'll be two cases. This one won't change, so you don't have to so in our kind of like chart, and I'll show you in a minute, we won't have to change anything there. This is the part that we have to change down here, is if something is in your hand. So let's go there right now. Here we go. Here we are. We've got two spots here. I'm gonna close this. So we've got hand holding, and then you got the thing. If your hand is holding, we'll do these things. And use held item. So if your hand is holding, then we'll use it or not. So that gets that. Got look, which I've already done. Okay, so I think sorry, I'm just thinking. Let's think on a graph. Would it make more sense what would make more sense? What? What would make more sense? Would it be keep the current use held item button, or add drop to the list of actions. So I do like, one of the things I mentioned before is I like the idea that a slightly clumsy interface imparts a slight clumsiness to the game, in that you as a player and the players in the game, the character they're playing are not necessarily first-person shooter experts. They don't play Apex, and they don't. Some may not shoot guns in real life. They may be clumsy with guns, may be clumsy with weapons, and they may be clumsy with other things. And the only time it would be like matter would be in like a fight, where it's like, okay, I need to switch to do something else quick. I need to hold this down, and then it'll show me what my action is. So I'm kind of leaning towards this one here, where we keep current use held item button, and then when you hold that down, you can see the actions available. Because otherwise, I don't really see. With this one, you'll have action reticle would be up whenever you are holding anything. So you'll get this weird situation where you have an item in your right hand and no item in your left hand, but you'll have a reticle that says use with, and if you push left, nothing will happen. That's okay, I think. So I don't think we have to make this decision completely today. So I'm just going to save it so I can make the decision later. But maybe we'll make that decision today. Who knows? That's where we are at. So for now, I'm thinking let's implement this one here. And if we need to like go here, we can do that. Because if you look at how we have it now, we've got the action for use held item. So we can just put all of the kind of action-y stuff here. And then if we need to, then we can do just input hand and then branch off, move that branch from down here up to here. So our first thing in here, our first thing in here is same as weapons, kind of, not really. They kind of, but not really. So how a weapon generally works in Unreal is you'll have something in here. It'll be a variable, and it'll be like a weapon, right? And then it will have like a link to a data table or a data asset that has the actual kind of like, what does this thing actually do? And that's how you get different weapons. And in there, they'll actually have like one of the kind of properties of the data asset will be a string that says, oh, go use this reticle. And I think we can use something similar here, but I don't know yet. As I don't know, like, how to differentiate between, because usually when you have like a gun in an FPS, you just like, oh, it shoots bullets and those bullets go over here, and maybe it's hit scan, I don't know, but then something happens. So I haven't looked into that yet, but I think it might make sense to create kind of like the holding objects for what our actions need to be. And also, you may notice our actions play very well into how we have this all set up, in that it would just be a gameplay ability. So you have no gameplay ability for combined with that kind of thing. So I'm kind of tempted to start there because we already have those. So let's do that. How does this guy work? Yeah, I just said that. When's the last time we touched this stuff? I think we're allowed to go back and just double check that we're not like nuts, right? Do we have any? Are we inheriting anything? No, just gameplay ability. There you go. Okay, so it's not too complex. But we are going to look at. So we're not using the default. We're using activate ability from event. We've got component. We've got a guest listed. We have a hand listed. Is it listed? Do we list it? Do we use that like that? Set hand, and then we do, yeah, it's true. Hand item. Okay, so all this hand stuff is occurring in C++. I don't think we need to do that here. I think we just need to decide which ability we're going to use based on what's in the hand and on the action that we're choosing. Oh, I didn't mean to shrink that. I meant to go back here. When we go and activate the ability, we're doing it with events, so we can totally use the event tag to say which one we're going to do. Ha 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 ha. So let's go ahead and do it like that. So we can first of all, let's make the audience dizzy, and then shrink this down so I can get what's behind it. What we'll do, we'll look up gameplay ability, gameplay ability. And we're going to make this so we're going to do, we've got use held item, and we're going to do all right, I forgot that's how I programmed the keyboard. Combine held how did I get so bad at typing, guys? Held item with And we want this to look like BP grab. Actually, we want it to look more like BP used held item. So let's open both those and look at how they are. BP held item, event data, and all right, let's start with this. We will not use event activate ability. We are going to use activate ability from event. Just like we do here in held item. Get avatar from actor info. What does that return again? An object. All right. So we're gonna cast that to guest character. Sorry, I'm just trying to do set guest. Set hand. Don't know why we're setting things instead of carrying them over. Maybe it's just for my own. It's for my own, like, not being shitty to myself. I think the best thing to do first is grab all these. Get this. Because this is essentially kind of like the same thing, isn't it? So we've got that guest. I'll bet it's gonna like tell me that's like broken because it's not this guest. We get the hand like before. Hand is valid. All right. We've got the guest and we've got the hand. We're setting the hand. Jump to variable. The variable is hand. The same thing as before. Get hand item. Is it valid? And then here's where it changes. This is the only spot where it changes. Okay, let's grab this. C++ symbols. That's also on C++. That's okay. That's okay. We'll change this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to check if my idea is crazy or not. To do that, we're going to go into here. We're going to see get hand item. We can get the hand item. Get hand item, get hand item. Is hand. Oh? Okay. Am I a little bit nuts? I'm a little bit nuts. Right, that's. Target is usable. Use. This is a message, isn't it? It's a message. to what? Usable? Things. So, okay, get this. It's going into this and then sending that message. So we should be able to send the message to this. Combinable. No. I'm worried that usable is bizarro. Use, guest character, guest and hand. Usable. Oh yeah, because it's, you want to use it on yourself. So you need to know who you are and what hand you're holding. If you're going to combine it with somebody else, you're going to need to know who you are. Oh, it could be we need to change the interface, because I would expect that's something I want to do. Combine into other, folded into false. Okay. Here's my logic. I want the same logic as, do we want the same logic as this? When I make usable things, what does it look like? Let go, picked up, interact. Where's use? Use, guest. It doesn't care, but it makes changes to the guest, and that's why it needs to know. So, are we making, when we combine two items, are we making changes to the thing that's holding it? I'm gonna say no. I thought about it. Okay, here's my reasoning. I'll put it off to the side here. If, say, you've got a thing, right? And when you combine thing A with thing B, it hurts the player. That's my only kind of like idea how you would combine two things and it would hurt the player. So a good example would be let's say you connect to electrical wires. Not like I'm actually like thinking about going this deep, but it's the only example I can think of right now. If you connect to electrical wires by using combining hand wire with a world wire, then it's not I mean, it is combining and that causes the damage, but you could do that by saying at that moment we will spawn a projectile that is the size that would hit, right? So you don't actually have to do it through there. And this would do the damage, not the actual combining action. So let's not do that kind of thing through the combining action. Let's do it through other means and leave combining kind of like pure and clean. So what we end up with is this disappears. And then we've got our hand item, we've got our object. I think that means we also don't have to do this. We just have to flow it all the way through from here to here. There we go. So we get the hand item. And then we say that we're going to combine into. And it's a message. So if it doesn't implement the interface, it'll just whatever. There we go. It will not be defaulted. Remember, we only go defaulted if like we got to the end of like defaulted only gets called inside, right? So now we need other. Which requires us to open up in here again. Here's where we do our line trace. Inside, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? It's a macro function. Function. Okay, so let's start with pulling this out. a new function called get actor look line trace. Get actor look at get looked at actor. Oh, I lifted up. I was too fast on the draw. Get looked at actor within range. All right, and then we're going to have some inputs. Namely, since I put it in the name, I better put a range. When we do the interactive factor, do I have it around? Open it in a different. Oh, I've got so much shit open then. It's here. All right. I'm just going to close some tabs. Tabs within tabs is kind of like a little bit bonkers, but you know how it works, right? There we go. So we've got that. We've got line trace by channel, return value. Interaction distance, that's our range. Interaction distance is a float. I'm gonna make this guy in here float as well. All right, and then the output is going to be actor. I know it's I know. Oh, guys, actor. That's going to be an actor. But we're also going to add component. And this is going to be actor component. There we go. So that's what our function is going to kind of look like. Stretch that out. I'm going to hop over to here. We got this. We've got this. Well, I want to just copy the whole thing for now and then deal with it once we get it over, because I think most of it goes in here, but what we want to do is make it so we can use it the other way. So go here, look at the line trace. At this guy here, we're going to delete that. That's a range. Oh, wrong. The range. The range down here instead of interaction distance. So we've got all our stuff for doing the trace is here, and we've got all the stuff over here where we like look at the result of the trace. So if we did hit something, false, we don't do anything. If we did hit something, does object implement interface interactable? So what we're doing here is we're kind of saying we don't care. Component be interactable? Have we done that? Probably. In the actor part there. So what we're actually doing, this part here is interact. So we can delete all this and then drag this guy back where we can see it. And we'll say that the hit actor is the actor, the hit component is the component. If it's true, we go there. If it's false, and we still have to return if it's false, right? If it's false, we'll return nothing. Then an interact with actor. Take all this, and we're going to delete it. And we'll replace it with this. So interaction distance is that. I'm going to grab this. So we were doing this for the component, and then we're going to do this for the object. So that's what we're doing here. First, we get the component and see if it implements the interface. And if it does, we're going to do it on the component. And this time, I'm going to do this. So we're going to activate on the component if possible. Otherwise, then we'll do it at the actor level. And all that hit scan stuff is isolated into here, which means now we can go into here and do something about combining. So let's add a function called hey, I got a question for you. This is my crazy question. I've got this down here. Then like, what does it do? Guess character, find the hand, branch, get hand item. Oh no, that one. This guy here, use. Sorry, I'm having a small brain fart. Okie dokie. All right. And then that happens because use held item doesn't do any targeting. And we call that in the event graph at the end of this one here. Use held item. Okay. All right. I got myself straight. It's all good. I'm doing it. Ooh, almost forgot. We should also, at the end of this, I say at the end of this, but it should probably be the first one. There you go. And then we'll move all this a little bit more so I can fit that in. Ah, not that one, not that one. Just these ones, thank you. There you go. We're only gonna do any of this if we actually hit an actor. We'll do this. Hit. Yep. We already know. Those are the two conditions, aren't they? Don't need to do that. We can just break check mark, no check mark. We know that. All right. So there we go. We won't do any of this if it doesn't hit anything. That's important. I'm going to move this into here. Combine with actor. Combine with actor. What we'll do is input. That's annoying, actor. So we'll get the other one, and then this one. Hey, guys. It'll be held. I'm gonna call it held because, and it's gonna be, it's not just an actor, guys, it's a combinable, right? Can I not? Oh yeah, sorry. not how Unreal Engine works. Okay. The held one and the other one, and outputs, I don't know if there's any outputs. So wait, I'm just going to delete this one. We're going to call the other ones other. You'll see in a minute. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our get look at actor within range, the range being the interaction distance. If hit, then we'll do something. It's going to be an actor. I don't know if we can do that. Component, just in case, everyone. We will do both. So we're going to do does it implement combine and then if it does, combine into target. So we said that we're going to call target, and other is back here. So grab that other, and it's not defaulted. So that's for the component. And then we'll do the same for the actor. And somehow implement. Because it doesn't know. It doesn't know any better, guys. It's context sensitive, but still implement. Can I not spell implement? Implement. There you go. Oh, because it's not. That's not how that works. Okay. Have you noticed something? Yeah, me too. It looks the same as the other one, doesn't it? The problem is I can't just like go interface other thing, right? You just have to do it. I think this is the only way to do it. There might be a better way to do this, but I'm not really in the mood, to be honest. And again, target is our actor target this time, and then other is our other from the start of the function. We'll do the same thing here with a comment. And then combine actor if component doesn't do it. I suspect, and I don't know if you can, I suspect the problem is combine into. This doesn't tell you, these messages don't tell you if it succeeded or not. It'll just say, I will try it if possible, right? So you get this kind of thing of like, well, I can't escape out. Otherwise, it would just go combine into, combine into, combine into, and it'd be really easy. So I think this is the only way to do it. Anyway. So we've done that part. Everything's files. We've got combine held item with. So what we're going to do right now is I'm actually going to run it. It's not going to do any combining, but I want to make sure I can still interact. If our interact still works, then yep. That's a toilet, I believe. There's our light switch from last week. Perfect. So we know that the other one will probably do exactly the same because it's the exact same code. Good. We done did it. Let's this for a second. So we did this bit already. This is more of a discussion, but we should take that into account. So let's go back into our event graph. We got our make gameplay event data. This will change depending on what action is selected. So to keep, so to keep this idea of nothing equals grab and something equals select, all we actually have to do, and that's why we want to do this one first, is use the action selection to figure out which one of these, what gets fed into here, which is interesting since then we can make it like a variable and we just like loop through it. So let's do action selection. To select an action, we're going to have to know what action we're doing now, which is interesting on a certain level. There's one thing that this has that the other one doesn't, which is item. There it is. Ability trigger. So we need to do the same here. Class defaults. Triggers. And this should be triggered by combine items. So if we grant this ability to the main character and send that instead of use held item as the tag, we should combine the held item instead. So what we really want to do is have a list, have a current, hold on, action, and future actions. Now, first thing I want to do before I do anything in there is I want to see if I've done something dumb. Like put your not there. We'll know if it's chord get grab, pick up, let go, use held item. Oh, I added it in here too, combine items. Okay. So I put them in here, which means I probably should do these things in here. So let's do those things in there. Before I go crazy, let's do this first. Let's we don't use that anywhere. That's the only place we use it. Oops. Ditto for that one. So we aren't doing them in here, but we do plan to, I assume. So let's roll with that. I'm gonna roll with that, to be honest. Let's do and we're gonna say actually no. We'll go up here. Character, date. Do those just set things on the guest thing? No, it doesn't. All right. Where did those come from? Where did those come from, guys? There they are. All right. Let's say that we want to have too fast for my keyboard, I think. All right. And we are going to put the default. I used to know what the default is. I forget what the default is. You remember what the default is? It's in one of these other ones. We use it. We use it. See, I told you there's a default. And then we'll also put in sorry, I'm just thinking like we don't want to put them all in here because essentially we only want to be here in here sometimes, right? We only want to be in here a kind of. It's kind of making me think we should just put it into the blueprint for now, and if it becomes a thing, we'll put it in C++. So we put in here. So we put it in here. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna put in here. Whoops. Current action for held item. It's gonna be a gameplay tag. Does that make sense? It's not for anybody else. It's just for me. Yeah, sure. I don't think it needs to be replicated. Only thing I have to think of is that somebody might like. You're gonna replicate what you're gonna do. I don't care about replicating which one you had in front of you, unless somebody has like a shortcut, some sort of thing that'll cheat shortcut. And I don't feel like this is a game that's a cheaty game, but somebody might. But I don't care. I kind of don't care. And down here, actually, hey, okay. Put something in there, come on. And then we take this, shovel it in here. So in theory, right now, that should work. So I haven't put any sort of like way to change this, right? Does anybody remember what button I set for showing me all the things? There's a button for showing me all the things. I forget what it is. Did I get rid of that button? I did something suspicious. Did that? Okay, let's. So I've got this. Got a button. I wish I had that. Hold on. I have to go look at what that button is. Do I not have that button anymore? I guess not. What's a good thing? What's a good way to? Okay, I'm gonna do something wacky. Just give me a second. All right, this is my wacky thing I'm gonna do. So we've got this. It inherits the other thing. And then we're going to where's the interfaces? Interfaces, interactions, pickup. So instead of that, I'm going to, instead of that one, we're going to do a interact pickup. I don't know if that'll actually work, right? Where did I put the remote controls, interactions, interact, that, and it's a function. Oh, never mind. Probably going to be more effort to to yeah, there's nothing, just get rid of it, dude. Okay, while it's doing this, for some reason, I will be right back. Okay, here's the plan. First of all, deal with the crash. And I'll do something, I guess. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little bit simpler. I'm going to close this. I don't need that right now. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to make a object you can pick up, and then when you use it, it'll turn that light on and off. Instead of having a light, So in addition to having a light switch, that ugly lamp will be controlled by a remote control. Like your Christmas lights. Oh, I didn't get stuck. That's good. Got stuck there, but didn't get stuck at 37 like it usually does. Doing a thing. All right. I'm just trying to think, is there any, while we're waiting, I'll put a little note over here. And so part of this will be the idea that thing we can that can be picked up and held. No. Picked up and held. That's all we want, isn't it? That's all we want in life. And then we can just extend it. All right. We're back. Do we already have one of those and I just named it something stupid? Drink. That's right. I just named it something stupid. All right. That improves that. And you forget I wrote that. But do remember that it was stupid. Need that. Nothing to care about right now. There's our thing, and then we are going to action. Usable. Can I do a basic? Give me a second. Picked up, let go, interact, use. Can I copy this? Hold on. Duplicate. All right, guys. VP. And then last at settings, we're going to go down here. We're going to remove usable. Interactable, pick upable, compile. Then we are going to extend this to be BP all right, don't care. I'm going to do this. There it is. I'm going to just fun. We're going to go this. I'm going to make it jangle. Jam. Great. Perfect. All right. Pile. We are also going to, we got our class settings. We're going to add combinable. We're going to start with usable, right? And when we use it, first of all, we're going to go down here and we're going to put in light. And that's going to be vector. And then we're going to event use. We're going to go actor. And then we're going to go interact message, guest, and go. Okay, so that's kind of like that. And then we're going to go into our test level, right? Maps, test level. And we'll grab that thing. Put it somewhere. It's probably a bad place for it. Hold on. You see it? Lined. There it is. All right. Oh, there it is. Right next to the light switch. It's 4. There's the remote for it. If we, I think we can still use it, even though I don't have. I'll double check. I might have to kick back out, but yeah, okay. So if I go, it's not hitting it or what? Maybe I do need to. Okay, hold on. Maybe pickup only gets added in a proper game. Let's try it this way. I should probably move interact over there too. Start the game. should be able to pick this up. All right, and then, oh, I forgot. I have to set the light. Because it has a thing near the top, right? Oh, ooh. Forgot. You have to set it properly, right? The light has to be exposed on spawn, instance editable. Compile and save. Go back here, and there it is. I'm gonna put the ugly lamp 1. Save. Start the game so I can pick stuff up. There we go. All right, so we know that that all works. Which means that once we implement combining, we can add that in. While I'm here, let's just go in here and, am I actually in the event? Oh, okay. Interactive actor. I should pull this into an event as well so I can turn it on and off. So let's go look at our gameplay abilities. Grab, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Figure out what hand you have, etc., etc., etc. And grabs it if you need to. Interact looks the same because I just made it by copy the grab. If the hand is holding, almost. Do you feel like, okay, what the reason this never shows up is because grabbing things is a gameplay ability. So you can't grab anything until give me a second. Interactive actor. So if I grab, let's go in here. Things. I just made a pickupable thing. Oh, sorry. That's not what I want to do. I want to go in here where the code actually lives. Yeah, and in here it sends a gameplay event. The gameplay event triggers the actual thing. So this is a thing. This is all sorts of a thing. So why don't we move that out of there? So this turns out that I already did that. But what I want to do is make no. So we'll put that in the list of minor refactors, and maybe I'll do that on my off time later, because you don't want to watch it. I don't want to. I don't want to do it right now, but that's what we got to do. Okay. And I will hilariously delete like 2/3 of this. I wanted one of those. God damn it, I wanted one of those. All right. There we go. We'll keep these kicking around for a bit. There we go. So we'll come back and we'll fix that later. Okay, so where are we? What did we do today? So far, we've got the same as weapons. We don't have an action selection wheel, but we've got ourselves set up for it. I don't know why I called it an action selection wheel in the first place. Action selection. Do I have time to do this part right now? You know what? I think I might. I just have to, remember how advanced input works. Did I not double click on that? There we go. It's a input action. Okay. And we're going to make this okay. At that, I'll grab one as comparison. So the hand. That's not the one I want. I want use held action. That's a closer to work. Yeah, it's just a 1D float. So it is next action. Access 1D float. Save. And then go in here. Default key mapping. We've got all those. And then we'll now we'll access mouse wheel down specifically. And on a thing, how's that look? That's classic, right? Have we used? No, we haven't. Let's not make it that. Let's make it something useful. Face button. Bottom. There you go. That's more useful. All right, so if we go back into here and then here, and then, boy, guys. Controls, that's nice. We will add that to here. Just double checking a couple of these. This does have this digital access float. it's, give me a second, sorry. I remember doing something because it's a hand, so it could be left or right. And then you say which one it is based on that. So for this is actually a X action is basically just a Boolean on off, right? One blueprints. Is it this one? This is crazy. Get this. Recorded action with the modifier. You have to be holding down the modifier to actually change. And then same with this guy. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay, so Boolean, perfect. All right, so next action, we are going to say when this is triggered, let's I'm gonna add another thing in here. Possible actions. And it's array. An array. Nobody will see that coming. Pile. And then possible actions, we're gonna go first one is use held item, followed by combine items, compile. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say when we do this, we are going to I'm just gonna double check if that's why I'm doing it correctly. Boolean digital. No, that's right. And then it'll just trigger and you ignore the thing. Right? Right? Okay, triggered. And we're gonna say Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Perfect. Okay, so we got our current action index. Is that it? No. Computers. Computers, guys. Computers. Triggered. Increase the action. But if what comes out the other end is greater than possible actions length. God, why is it so big? So 0 and 1, the length is 2. So when we set it to 2, it'll break. So this actually should be greater than or equal. That's true. Current action index set to 0. Current action for held item, we're going to just, I'm going to break all pin links for now. I'm not sure I want to do it that way. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We go possible actions. Get that index, and that's our event tag. So first order of business is see if I broke it. So let's go and pick something up. I still do that. I can still drop it onto the ground. Perfect. And then I've made a button. What was it? Mouse down. Okay, so oh. What happened? What's going on? Kicking around like an idiot. I can't pick it up again. Hold on. Okay, hold on. All right. Start the game so I can pick something up. Over here. Have it in my hand. On, off. Switch. Oh. I shouldn't be able to do that because I should have been switching to the combine action, which doesn't do that. So let's take a look. Let's do some work here. All right, and then what we'll do is we will go up here. That string is going to be, that's right, possible actions get is now, oops, is now current index. How's that? How's that? So we should get that. That gives us two tests in one. We can see if it picks up at all. We can see if no good. It's not getting in there because it should. Oh, what? Could go in here too. Okay, hold on. Both sides can go in here. But I don't think it's actually doing it. I don't actually think it's actually. I think it's more of an input problem than anything. Yeah, that's just an input problem. Oh yeah, I said I had to hold that down, so maybe it's holding me to that. I don't think it is, but oh yeah, all right. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so it was because I forgot that I had set that as a coordinate action. Let's get rid of that because it confuses me, obviously. Delete. That's the wrong one. This one. I don't need this to be corded. Okay, so start the game so I can pick things up. Got this thing here. I can use it, turn it off. I can, for the combine items, it doesn't do anything because that's not combinable. Perfect. That's great. All right. So let's go over here. So we don't have like the reticle as they had before, but we can say that we can select an action and then we'll just change what the reticle looks like when you change it. And then let's see. I'm just gonna put a couple. This is obvious. We did this. Okay. So for the reticle, I'm just gonna add some notes here. Can we see it all the time? Which is a question, right? Like if we go, I only can see it when I have the use button, the modifier button on, so I can see what I'm doing, or is it when well, I guess all the time, right? Because then we can just go like this and answer our own question. Yes. When, oops. When not held. When modifier is not held, show the grab reticle, right? Because if we don't have anything in the hand and we're not like, if we don't have anything in our hand, guys, if we don't, so if we don't have anything in our hand and we're not on use thing in your hand, then grab, drop. It's both. So I think it would be completely legitimate to have like an animated one where it's like, it's just like a hand. Or not animated, just like hand is grabbing and dropping. So if you have the thing held down, you'll see a reticle for whatever your selected action for what's in your hand show up. And if you don't, it'll be your hand. Or not, I don't know. Can we see it all the time? Now we're back to can we see it all the time? Right? Because then is the grab button merely the fact that you don't have a specific action selected? I'm making a, it's more awkward to know, it's more clumsy, so no. It's more clumsy if you can't see until you hold the modifier, which could now be called the action button. Right? Because that's essentially what we're doing. I'm going to do one of these actions. So yeah, executive decision complete. So we only have to have that thing show up. You can, but then we should probably do it so it's corded. I'm going to do that now before I forget. The reason we would do that is if you can't see yourself changing it. That sucks, dude. So let's make it corded with the modifier. All right, that makes sense. Then it has a little bit more of a feeling of the action adventure game, in my opinion. Now, mind you, it's either walk to a spot where there's nothing there, or whatever, or use a thing. So they always have it on there. But in our case, there's other things. So we're gonna do it that way. But that works good. That works better than I thought. So yeah, I think that's it. So essentially, for this little subsystem, we just need some reticles. I'm not going to go into that today. And then we can talk about, go back into here, because that's the next place I want to go into is remote activated actors. We have a couple of things I want to do. I'm just going to move these a little bit while I'm spitting out garbage down here. Lights that don't respond to the switch unless a master switch is on. I don't know what it says behind there because I put a giant like thing there. Here, I'll just type it switch. So essentially, you'll have like a power mains and unless master switch as are on. So that's how like you have a power system would be like there's like a breaker downstairs and maybe a physical wire somewhere to break. So that's kind of like essentially this entire power system will be based on, I guess we'll make a blueprint class that's like things that use electricity, and then you can say something like this circuit or this breaker or power overall, whatever. Sewer, I haven't even decided what to do with that. That's like, I don't even know if that's gameplay relevant. I'm gonna put it down here. Phone is gonna be the same as this kind of. And then trap items, and we'll have to think about that at some point. We did this one. All right. Yeah. Save. Okay. I think we're in a good spot. Good time to say good night. So I'll say good night.